If you were looking for some recommendations, maybe Cameo and I are your only friends.
Maybe
we should start
That's fine.
Maybe we should start like a only friends where we just give people recommendations like we're their friends. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
Yeah, and they
can do that.
pay like $100 a month.
Ooh.
But if you're wanting to know what to watch, me and Cameo got you covered.
That's right.
It's time to Nerdflix and chill.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Nick Offerman was doing this weekend.
Whew.
He was chilling hard.
All puns intended.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and what we're going to do to kick off Nerdflix and chill this week, we're going to talk about The Last of Us, which is last night. We're recording this on a Monday. Last night was episode 3. So we've got 3 episodes. So far, it's Last of Us is doing pretty good, Cameo. When it debuted at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Had 4.7 million viewers, which only makes that behind House of Dragons for a debut show on HBO Max.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, so did pretty good. Well, I think that's just HBO in general, honestly. I don't think that's just HBO Max. So, but yeah, so it had a pretty big debut. And so listen to this. It debuted at 89% Cameo after 3 episodes today.
Yeah.
It's sitting at 97% on critics and 95% on audience ratings.
I can see that.
Yeah, so people haven't lost any interest in The Last of Us. The sales of the video game rose 322%. Just at the this was even a couple weeks ago. So
people are playing the game now because of this.
Mm-hmm. Which,
wow.
To be honest, it's made me want to go back and be like, okay, I should go back and play this game too. Because there was stuff that I don't remember, but I will say, Cameo, just 3 episodes in, The Last of Us is a pretty dadgum good TV show. I really love the way that it started.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode was a great episode, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The whole setup for the zombie virus outbreak was great. I really love that, how they're doing it, where it's a fungus. Let me ask you this, Cameo, because I don't believe I might not have either paid attention or they might not have specified. In the game, was it a fungus that turned everybody into zombies?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
okay.
the cordyceps. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure because, like I said, I played the game. I even have the remaster, which I want to go back and play it because I think I got it like when I had like a gift certificate, and I was like, I like The Last of Us. I've already played it once. I'll get the remaster, and then I haven't played it yet.
See, and I do like the first when you play the video game.
Yeah,
there was some things that weren't really explained. And I'm glad that Neil Druckmann has decided to give us the cause. We already knew if you played the video game, there were like little recordings. There were certain things where how it said, it's the cordyceps. It's a fungus, blah, 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 blah. But they actually go into detail in the first 2 episodes of the HBO series.
Yes.
And I like that the way that they're doing this instead of, how like they did The Walking Dead, where Rick woke up one day and the world ended. Basically.
Yeah.
We don't know how things happened. They were supposed to tell us in Fear the Walking Dead, but that didn't happen. And I guess, sometimes the unknown is appealing to some people, but with this is an actual thing that attacks insects. So you can't just be like, oh, well, it just happened. It just happened in humans. So, but they gave a reason why, because of the temperature and how basically the temperature dropped, and that's how these things can.
Was it dropped, or is it because of like global warming or whatever?
Well, the global warming, basically. I'm just saying how the fungus can't.
Yeah, it reacted to the environmental changes,
right,
in a way that, like right now, that wouldn't happen. I did read somewhere that a scientist said that that's still not likely that could happen. But that's what makes it scary to me. Is it's not like a like I think that they talked about in The Walking Dead, like it was spores from a meteor or something, like an alien, like in the comic books at least, right? I don't know if they did that. I can't remember.
I didn't get too far in the comics,
but like to me, this is like a, because you have like you've seen insects in real life that have been taken over, and they kind of like they're like little insect zombies, and that's terrifying. Right. So I like how they worked it into this, and I guess that was in the game. Like again, people are gonna be like, "You are the worst gamer ever, Brad," and I am. I am. Like I don't do little side missions. I don't look for little clues. Like,
See that's me, man. I get upset if I don't get 100%.
Yeah, like I'm going back and trying to do all that in the Batman Arkham. I
gave up on that,
Arkham
man.
Knight.
Those things are hard.
Yeah, but like most of them, like I say, I loved the Last of Us game for a little while, but then I was like, I don't know, like I don't have the attention for that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but that's why I'm glad the show is out now, and of course, isn't it kind of funny? Pedro Pascal, love him, but he's getting typecast a little bit as the gruff old guy who has to accompany minors everywhere.
Right.
Even though baby Grogu's like what, a few hundred years old, or
yeah, he's older than
50?
Him.
Is he 50 years old? Or
yeah, he's older than him. So
But in this one, same thing. And we're gonna have a little bit of spoilers here, but we're not gonna spoil it too much because we want you to go watch it.
Right.
But yeah, I think, if you played the game, like that there were little things in the game that like I thought were in the show that were little thing callbacks to the game that I thought were dope. Like in the second episode when they actually are starting their little journey and they're crawling through like the different buildings because they've been blown up. And see, that was another thing I was questioning last week was like, why is everything like all grown up already, like with vines all over everything? But last night kind of explained it a little more to me anyway. You probably already knew this, but like I didn't realize like it's been 16 years.
20,
okay, since the outbreak.
Yeah.
Last night kind of, I thought explained it a little bit better because we saw things happening like in 3-year segments. Yeah. But so 20 years, okay, that would make sense. But yeah, like I think it was in episode 2 where they're talking to the scientist and she's like, yeah, this isn't, you're not going to be able to contain this. This is not going to be, and they're like, well, what should we do? And she's like, you just need to drop a bomb on all of us. And
that's wild.
I was like, oh,
that's so wild.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man. So this is like the aftermath of all of that. The people who have survived, the people who have now come to this area and search for other people or whatnot and different stuff. And then Pedro Pascal's character, what's his name? Joel. Mm-hmm. And like I said in our nerd update, if you want to go online and look up some stuff that like you're like, okay, explain to me this, be careful. Because like last night's episode, I was kind of like, man, that felt like it felt like a classic Walking Dead episode where they go off to a side story and it's all about that. And you're sitting there kind of wondering, what was the point of that? Because like Joel and them kind of met these people at one point, and then later on, like it kind of became a little bit important, but not. But from what I read online was that like last night's story with Nick Offerman and all that is going to play a little bit into some stuff later. Like some of the lessons that Nick Offerman had learned of, like where he was he didn't really care about anything. He wasn't really even afraid of anything because he didn't have anything to lose. And then when he finally did, those will be themes that play in later to Joel's story. But as a casual fan last night, it was a great story. It was a great story, and it was, a beautiful love story and all this. But man, and apparently they had changed it too from what had happened in the game.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, man, that felt like one of those filler episodes. Even though I enjoyed the episode, I am still unsure. Other people seem like they're convinced as to how that would play into stuff later. Mm-hmm. So what were your feelings on it? Because you know a little bit more about the game story than I do.
As you know, in the video game, we all know that, oh my goodness, Nick Offerman character, Bill, yeah, had a relationship with Frank. They didn't really touch too much on that like they did in this episode.
Pun intended.
I guess, if you wanted to give that character a little bit more backstory, maybe because I don't really fully remember. I know that Bill was, kind of gruffy, like he was, how Nick Offerman portrayed him. He was, I think, that's Nick Offerman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and we kind of see, how his love for Frank, how he basically kind of grew from that. Mm-hmm. And how his relationship with Joel, and the thing is with and I can't remember the issue, what fully happened with Bill in the video game, but I do know that some of the missions that you had to do with Bill, it was a lot more exciting than what we got last night.
See, I do. Should I say what happened in the video game with Bill? Is that too spoilery?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
well, this is what I read anyway. That in the game he gets bitten and he hangs himself.
No, that was Frank.
Oh, that was Frank.
That's how Frank died in the video game.
Oh, okay. See,
yeah, because I think Frank had told Bill that he was going to go do something, which I think was true. Whatever he did, he got bit because Bill was trying to find him. Like, he was like, I don't know where Frank is. And then, when they were on their mission to go get this battery for the video game, that's where they found Frank, where he, unalived himself. So with that being said, I don't like how the video game did that ending for Frank, because I did want something exciting to happen. There was a little bit of excitement with the whole, I don't know, what do you call them, marauders, I guess, that came and tried to get in Bill and Frank's area. But other than that, I was just, it was just,
yeah. The only one getting in Bill's area was Frank. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in the game, you're still unsure what happens to Bill. In the show, we there, what happens to Bill. If you're up to date, if you've seen all 3 episodes. So if you haven't, I still don't want to spoiler it completely. Spoil it completely, but I will say, I mean, this is a spoiler. I'm a little bit sad, unless there's some kind of backstory that we'll get a little later. I was thinking that this was the introduction of Nick Offerman into the series, and then it was gonna like he was part of the series from here on out.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
So
I again, if you watched our nerd update and we were talking about The Last of Us, there were some things that Neil Druckmann had said about, possibly using some of the series, or excuse me, some of the scenes that were in the video game that they would use for the series, as long as it, progressed the storyline. Not in those exact words. I kind of understand where, that how they're, they want to change some things up, give more character development for some of the characters that we saw in the video game. And that's totally fine. That's, I understand that, but that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, them fighting more of the cordyceps people, the infected people. It's cool to give me the backstory. I know, probably from here on out, it's probably going to be more bang, 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 bang until they meet up with another character, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen in this next episode. I can't remember their name, but it's I think it's they're brothers. One is older and then the other one's younger, or it's a father and son. I can't remember. But the son is kind of around the same age as Ellie, and they meet up because they're going through this like marauder area and get caught in some like crossfire. And as you've seen on the if you watch the episode and you watch the trailer for next week's episode, you'll see they took it from the video game where they are basically meeting up with these marauders for the first time, Joel and Ellie for the first time.
Yeah.
So in the video game, same thing. And, you play, get help or not get help, but, fight your way through this deal. Then you meet up with these new characters. Excuse me. So I don't know if this next episode is going to be, bang, 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 or we're going to get some bang, bang and get some more backstory of these new characters that we're going to see.
Well, we got some bang last night.
A lot of it.
Some bang, bang. Cameo. Let me ask you this, because in my readings, because I'm coming at this as like a weird spot because I played the game, but not all the way through. And now I'm watching the show and I'm like, man, like I saw some stuff too about Joel that like, I don't want to bring it up right now. I might mention it to you off the air.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, I'm thinking, man, I should go back and play the game now. Knowing what you know and knowing what you've seen of this episode, or no, the first 3 episodes, would you think I should play, or anybody out there should play the game now, or maybe wait until the show's over? Of course, then you gotta wait till next season too.
Right.
Well, and there are 2 games out, right? There's yeah. So you think season 2 will be about the second game?
It possibly could. I just don't know how many. Do you know how many episodes it's going to be?
I don't.
Okay.
I would assume around 10 though.
Yeah, hopefully. If the whole first season is about the whole first game, then I would assume that maybe the second season, because if you played the second game, Joel and Ellie are in like a new like homestead area where they have like a little community.
Okay.
But then you see what happens to, I don't want to, if you haven't played the second game yet, I don't want to give you, too much away, but it doesn't really follow Joel and Ellie. It's like maybe like the first like 30, 45 minutes. It's about Joel and Ellie, but the rest of the game is about the person that Joel had wronged.
Okay. So, I won't ask you about this on the air then. I'm going to ask you, or off the air, I'm going to ask you right now. Is Joel a bad guy?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it just depends on the way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like,
did he do like wrong for the greater good, or
no? It's just one of those deals where it's either you or me.
Yeah,
basically. And like in this type of game, it's basically you know, like Darwin's. Mm-hmm. It's survival of the fittest, basically. Mm-hmm. So you can't. It's like, well, you killed my father, basically. It's almost like, have you heard the rumor that there's going to be another Kill Bill movie, but it's going to be of the daughter killing oh my goodness, Uma Thurman's character?
No, but that would be dope. And you know, they should get Uma Thurman's daughter to play her daughter. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She's on Stranger
Things. Yeah.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Sidetrack real quick. I didn't realize that was her until I read, oh, this is Uma Thurman's daughter. Mm-hmm. And then when I saw like her like modelish style headshot photos,
yes,
I was like, I could see it.
Yeah.
In the show, I could not see it.
Same. And then I saw it after. I was like, oh yeah, of course that's her daughter.
Right. Yeah, the nose, the eyes, definitely.
But yeah, I see what you mean though. Like this, because it's The Last of Us. Like it's
right.
Like even last night's show, you could say, it was like a filler episode, or they spent a lot of time on a couple of characters that in the long run doesn't seem to matter because of what happened.
Yeah.
As much as like, I don't know if something more important is going to pop up, but like for what it mattered last night, it seemed kind of inconsequential to have to see all of that backstory to get to where they got. Right. But if they're telling stories about people during that time, then that's cool. It was a good story. To find. Now, their little homestead community, it's not the one that Bill had built, right? You said in the second game they go to.
Well, okay. So the homestead in the video game looked completely different.
Okay.
From what we got in this show last night.
Okay. So I'm just trying to maybe see like how some seeds, because it seems like some seeds that have been planted last night have to like grow in something else for them to spend a whole episode on it.
Right. And I think this, with what Joel has been going through, losing his daughter in the first episode, then losing his girlfriend, basically.
Tess, right?
Tess, yeah. Tess in the second episode. Mm-hmm. This is all playing on Joel because of what the letter said last night, and this is how we're going to start seeing Joel and Ellie's relationship as father and daughter throughout the rest of the series and next season, we'll also with, like you said, it's basically planting a seed in Joel of how he needs to basically love again, because Joel is hard. Like, I mean, he's stoned basically. And
listen, after last night's episode, you can't say planting a seed in Joel. You can't say Joel is hard. You can't say that.
I mean, you said planting the seed.
You said it.
No, you said.
Let me rewind the tape, sir.
Okay.
Right, no. I did say that. I did say it a little earlier. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I didn't say in Joel though.
Oh my goodness.
We're having
fun.
Anyway. Go ahead.
I was just gonna finish saying, what happened last night is going to soften Joel's exterior to end up letting him in that. Basically, You know what? I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I can see what you're saying, and that was reason I asked if he's like a bad guy, like because somebody on Twitter was like, "Man, I hope they're not going to turn him into a good guy," and I'm like, "What? Wait, what? I thought he was a good guy, but I haven't finished the game or the series, so."
Well, and I'll tell you off the air, and if you don't mind me spoiling it for you, it just
I don't, I don't really care that much on spoilers.
Okay, well, I'll tell you off the air then.
Okay,
but it all just depends on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of more interesting though to me to think, okay, well, maybe this dude isn't like 100% like a good guy because we already know like he's kind of begrudgingly helping this girl.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like I don't blame him because we're in the apocalypse here, like.
Right.
Why
just trying do you want to really survive?
Yeah. Do you want to risk your life trying to help this girl who might have the cure? But then again, they had said, like, we've seen this before. This has happened. And I'm sure the people who tried to help the other people before that they thought might be able to lead to a cure probably got killed.
Right.
So, does he really want to do that? He doesn't have anything to live for at this point.
Not anymore. I mean, other than, he has a brother, but that's all his family left is his brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where's his brother?
And, he lives in the video game. He lives by a dam or on a dam area. I don't know how they're going to do this, but he probably should pop up again in maybe the 5th or 6th episode.
Was that maybe his brother we saw at the beginning when he loses his daughter? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I honestly, where do you rank this amongst, we're 3 episodes in, hard to say, but where do you rank this like amongst the Walking Deads or, I don't know, like that's the biggest zombie TV show I've seen that I can remember. I love zombie movies too, so, but where would you say this one is?
I would say this one. I would say this would be my number 1 or number 2. And for number 1 reason, I would say because it is somewhat different than what we've gotten in the past. Like, let's say if The Walking Dead was like a media fragment, I mean, I guess that's okay. That's different, whatever. With I Am Legend, we had a cure for cancer, and that went horribly wrong and created these other zombie-like creatures that couldn't get in the sun for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I think this is kind of neat because this is actually a real thing. Like, this virus is real and attacks insects. And how crazy it could be that this could actually happen it might not happen. There's a possibility that it could happen.
Yeah.
If they actually, look into the science and maybe it could happen, then, that's a scary, scary thing to think about. But with these unknown variables of what caused XYZ to, for them to start eating brains or, human flesh, it's like, okay, this is kind of scary.
Yeah.
So I would say, I would definitely say this would be my number 1, especially because the video game, dude, I tell you what, that video game was top notch.
Yeah. My favorite zombie game, and I'm not saying it's better, but it's just my favorite. I love playing the Call of Duty zombies.
Oh,
Do you ever play those?
I don't play Call of Duty.
I think they're so fun. Like, sometimes I buy the games just for the zombies because me and my brother and my nephews like to play the zombies. But again, for a guy like me, it's like you can play like hours on it because like if you get up to like 50 rounds, because each round the zombie hordes start getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's not like, like a 2-month long game that you have to keep playing. You see what I'm saying? So like it's in rounds and stuff. So That's one of the ones I love the most. But I swear I've heard the name cordyceps in the zombies on there too. Like but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so there you go. That's the Last of Us. Again, so far I like it a lot. Now I like The Walking Dead a lot too in the first few seasons. So, but I'm hoping that this one stays concise and doesn't keep branching out into like all this other stuff like The Walking Dead did, where it ended up losing me. Plus, The Walking Dead at some point, and this one kind of like last night kind of did seem like The Walking Dead though. Not a lot of zombies. You know what I mean? But that's okay. It was a very human story. Had a lot of emotions, and I really enjoyed it. And I really have enjoyed the first 3 episodes. So definitely on my what you need to be watching list. I got a couple of more just recommendations. We're not going to go into them real quick. But Cameo, start your stopwatch. I'm going to give you 90 seconds, or I'm going to take 90 seconds to talk about that 90s show. Okay?
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me get my watch ready.
All right.
Where is it? Where are you watch?
Oh, dang.
Hold on.
You're going to spend 90 seconds trying to find the 90-second timer.
Right.
Just hit it. Just hit it now. Ready? And
wait. Here we go.
Okay. That 90s show, good, not great. Should be about Red and Kitty. The kids are trash. That's it.
Oh, wow. 8.77 seconds.
Nice. No, the kids aren't. I said the kids are trash. They're not. They're not. It's just they don't. I mean, there's not the same chemistry at all amongst the kids that I feel like that was so special. Because like, did you watch that 70s show? Were you a fan?
I didn't watch every single episode, but I did like what I watched though.
I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode. So, but yeah, I haven't seen a whole bunch of episodes, just a few of that 90s show, but it just doesn't have that same thing, you know, and it's hard. Like spinoff shows are hard. Like there's only one spinoff show that I can think of that was maybe as good as the original, which I would say Frasier. Frasier was a great spinoff, you know, but it wasn't like it was trying to be like, it wasn't trying to capture what Cheers had. It just took a character from Cheers and made a great show. So that's why I think that 90s show fails a little bit, because it's trying to capture that thing that the kids and the cast from that 70s show had. Of course, you had all of those, you know, Topher Grace went on to do stuff, Laura Prepon, however you say her name. Yeah. Mila Kunis,
Mila Kunis.
Kelso. Oh, yeah, Mila. Yeah. Kelso. You know, all those guys, everybody but Hyde.
Well, I mean, he did.
Yeah,
until he got in trouble.
But we don't talk about Hyde now. But, you know, they all went on to have careers outside of that show, too. I'm not sure I could say that maybe the main girl, but all the ancillary characters, I'm not sure that they're going to have the same kind of impact. So I think they should have just made it like Red and Kitty, you know, and then they had the people come back and all that. That's what I think.
Do you think also too that, because I kind of find it, I kind of got this same way with Fuller House.
Yeah.
I think sitcoms are dead.
Well, but Fuller House wasn't
live, like live audience and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like, you know, that was good early 2000s, 90s, you know, 80s, whatever. But right now, I don't feel like that's something that we need. Especially if now I haven't watched. I couldn't get, you know, past the first episode of that 90s show, so I can't really say who's all in there, who's not. I just know that in that first episode, Topher Grace and Donna was there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Kitty and Red. So other than, you know, some of the main characters coming back, are they in there throughout the show?
Well, I've only seen a few. I've seen everybody but Hyde though.
Yeah, he ain't coming back.
No, he ain't. But yeah. Again, they just have little small cameos. Like the thing with Fuller House was it still had the main characters in it. This one they're trying to kind of change the guard a little bit. Red and Kitty are still there.
Right.
But I think it would have been more interesting to just have them be the centerpiece of the new show if they weren't going to be able to bring everybody back for like a regular, that 70s show.
Right.
So that's my problem is that they just, I don't think that they could have recreated that chemistry that cast had. I just don't think they could, and they didn't. So.
No.
Another show on Peacock that I want to recommend, Poker Face. Now, don't get this mixed up with the Russell Crowe movie that's out called Poker Face. That's a different thing.
Or the Lady Gaga song, Poker Face.
Yes. But this show has Natasha Lyonne in it, and it's directed, well, not every episode is directed. Some of them are, but it's produced and all that by Rian Johnson, who just brought us Knives Out. And, of course, that Star Wars movie we don't talk about. But it's got Natasha Lyonne, Adrian Brody, Benjamin Bratt. Adrian Brody's in the first episode anyway. There's 4 episodes out right now. There's more to come. They're released every Thursday. And it's kind of like a mystery of the week type movie or show. I got to say the first episode was awesome. And then second, third, and fourth were like, if the first episode was A+, then second, third, and fourth were maybe like B+, but they didn't hit as hard as the others, but still pretty good. And I like Natasha Lyonne a lot. So, I recommend that show. I say, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Okay.
And that's my recommendations for the week. Cameo, you got any that you want to throw out there?
Yes, I got a couple. I just started watching Tulsa King.
Oh yeah.
I've not even past the first episode, and I love it.
It is good, although I gotta say, they're gonna get so many dispensaries robbed, just because. Because what's our guy, Sylvester Stallone? He goes into a dispensary in Oklahoma, and it's a real dispensary that they filmed in. But Martin Starr's character is like running the dispensary, and like he's got all this cash on him and all that. Just because it's a cash industry doesn't mean that they got cash sitting right there, like all their cash. So
right. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And he was like, the part where he was like, you're going to pay me 20% of what you earn, and I'll protect you from anybody or everybody, whatever. And he was like, this is all legal. Like nobody is robbing it. Like what's going on? Yeah.
Well, people are getting robbed, but I'm sure because I know people after they saw the first episode of Tulsa King, like in the marijuana industry, were like, they're gonna get us killed. But like I was like, that's funny though, because like that's not exactly how it is. So plus like the only person you needed protection from was Sylvester Stallone. He's the guy robbing you.
Exactly.
He just knows how to rob you where he can rob you every week.
Right.
But
shoot,
that's a good show. Yeah, Tulsa King.
Yeah, Tulsa King is on a Paramount Plus, so check that out if you haven't. I'm super late to the game. I don't know what made me wait for so long. I want to watch this when this comes out, but yeah, check it out. A couple of people I know are in the show. They have little cameo appearances in there. I'll just call her Danny. Danny, she's excuse me. She came to Wild 104.9 to promote her music, and she plays Martin Starr's girlfriend.
Nice.
In the show. So hopefully I can, get her on, because she's getting great feedback just on the one episode that she was on. So hopefully, we'll see more of her character in the coming seasons. But anyway, there's that. Also, there is a streaming service, totally free streaming service called Tubi. I don't know if anybody has heard of it, but I've had it for a while, just never really, watched anything on there. But they do have Tubi original. So like Netflix original, Peacock original, Apple TV Plus original stuff. They have Tubi original things on there as well. And not all of them are top-notch, blockbuster films by any means. It almost seems like they try to be blockbuster stylish movies, but didn't have the budget to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are some good things on there. There's some. Me and my wife watched a couple of movies. One was called. There was a series called Stepmother, and Stepmother 2, following this Fatal Attraction style type woman who basically has the premise of this movie is the main woman, played by Erica Mena, was assaulted, and her son was killed. So she takes it out on these new men in her life, and these new single men and their wives, or not wives, their kids, their sons. So Stepmother 2 on Tubi, really good. There was another movie called Alone in the Dark, which was like another thriller, suspenseful movie. So yeah, check those out on Tubi Originals.
Is it Tubi or not to be?
It's Tubi.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
That wasn't the question, Brett.
Oh, okay. That was my question.
Oh, okay.
All right, Cameo. I think that's a wrap. A big old show. We got a lot. We
had a huge show.
Yeah. But
when you missed a couple of weeks, you gotta update other people that have been waiting for us to tell you about this stuff. So you gotta fit it all in one glorious show.
We came back strong. So
we came back hard
and strong. All right, Cameo. Well, hopefully everybody
came back like Bill and Frank.
Yes. Everybody, hopefully, over the last few weeks has been knowing what to do. But just in case they forgot, Cameo, let them know.
Keep it nerdy.
Smile and put on a happy face.
Wakanda forever!
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
That was awesome!
Freeze all motor functions.